Since ball and gun gamers have been the topic of discussion lately, which, by the way, can we just clarify this? Because I've seen some people giving me a little bit too much credit. And I want to be honest, I want to be fair. I did not invent the term ball and gun gamer, but I did make it popular. It was a tweet. It was a meme I seen like years ago, but I did not make that shit up. I don't know who the fuck made it up, but I did make this shit popular because I swear to God, I've been getting nothing but ball and gun gamer videos and conversations on my algorithm. I'm straight up seeing everybody use this fucking term. And we know we made it because the official Okami account was replying to somebody. I don't know what the fuck they were saying. I still loathe Jeff Keighley for the stuff of last year. I guess they were complaining that something didn't win.
Truly love video.
They were complaining their favorite game didn't win, and then they were like, what, you want a ball and gun game? So shout out to the Capcom for recognizing. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. So I say all that to say this. Let me turn this down. Ball and gun gamer is in the zeitgeist. And for those who are not following, and if you just came in, because somebody asked me earlier, what does it mean? I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, but I will explain it again for the sake of the video because it's going to go on YouTube and get me lots of views. A ball and gun gamer is a term used for people who primarily only play games with balls and guns in it. And to be honest, for clarification, there's nothing wrong with that. You're allowed to play whatever you want. The term ball and gun gamer is thrown on people who only play those type of games and they have a dismissive nature about the rest of the gaming culture. So we're specifically, if you're somebody who only plays 2K, Madden, FIFA, Call of Duty, Fortnite, GTA, and you come home from work and you play your game and you just enjoy your games and you're having fun, we're not talking about you. We are talking about people who only play Madden, 2K, FIFA, GTA, Call of Duty, and Fortnite. And then when we start talking about Expedition 33, they say that shit's corny. Only people who get shoved in lockers play that shit. They're completely, they want the ball and gun gamer. You want to know the symptoms of the ball and gun gamer? The ball and gun gamer has no experience with anything outside of ball and gun games, but they have an opinion on everything. They're fucking morons. They're completely ignorant to everything that's going on. So understand, I'm not talking about people who just enjoy the game and mind a business. We are talking about dismissive, negative, ignorant people who want every year the Game Awards comes around and they want to be part of the conversation, but they didn't study for the tests. I've been said it. Every year it's 5 to 6 games nominated for Game of the Year. If you didn't play at least 2 or 3 of those games nominated, why are you even in the conversation? You're not qualified for this. I don't go to a law firm and tell them how to do their job. I don't come to Subway and tell you how to make a sandwich. I wouldn't be caught in Subway anyway. That shit's nasty. But ball and gun gamers, these niggas, they think they're God's gift to Earth because they know how to do a fucking curry slide. Nigga, you watched the YouTube video. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. All right, so now that we have an understanding of what the ball and gun gamer is, let's pivot to this conversation. So after the Okami account tweeted a ball and gun gamer joke, and it's becoming a part of the zeitgeist, the mainstream conversation, this Twitter user right here, Jay, is now trying to make the argument that the term ball and gun gamer is a racist term. He said, yeah, wrap the ball and gun shit up. This shit is entirely racist. And ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't disagree more. There is nothing racially motivated about the term ball and gun gamer. And I'm not going to lie. If you heard that and the first thing that went to your mind, you saw this and you thought like black people, you might be racist. Guys, the average ball and gun gamer is a white male. I don't know if y'all know this. I at bare minimum, I'm not saying that some people don't use this with some type of dog whistle. I can't rule that out. That's possible. You know how, because even with the clanker thing, for those unaware, the term clanker, when used as a slur against robots, that's a reference to Star Wars. The droids, they were called clankers, for those unaware. And then, you know, when AI started popping up, people started joking or whatever, and it did get co-opted by some people as a dog whistle. But clanker is not a racist term, bruh. It's a term. Even if you play Jedi Survivor, Cal Kestis was calling them clankers in there, bruh. But anyways, it's kind of the same thing. this was not a dog whistle for anything. And I'm not saying that there aren't some people out there that could possibly be using it, but for the most part, I think most people understand when we say you're a ball and gun gamer, we're just saying you are ignorant about what's going on in the gaming community. And to be honest, most ball and gun gamers are white men. Have you guys seen Community Day at NBA 2K? The #1 cheater in 2K is a dude named Cash Out. This nigga's been caught account sharing. Somehow he in Texas, Florida, London, Singapore, and Japan in the same day because he trying to get top rep. Cash Out Christopher. That nigga the Christopher Columbus at NBA 2K. Go look up Community Day for NBA 2K. It's like 60-70% white creators and a few black creators. It's not a black and white thing. It's mostly Europeans playing fucking FIFA. Yeah, white people play basketball games, but it's playing. Have you watched the NBA game and looked at the crowd? The crowd is mostly white. What are y'all talking about, bruh? This was never a race thing. And I'm not gonna lie, it's disappointing to see this narrative because as somebody, if I can get on my soapbox, as somebody who's super pro-black, y'all know I'm always ready to fight the good fight. It's amazing to me that you hopped on Bardock's internet to play the victim when we all have been in a Call of Duty lobby. You know how we know most Call of Duty players are white? Because the moment you start playing better than them, fuck that. All you gotta do is breathe on the mic. Is that an N-word on the mic? The average ball and gun gamer is white. They are a white male. So no, this is not a black issue. Like, what are you talking about, bruh? It was just a fucking joke. Jesus Christ. It sounds like a monkey on the fucking mic. This is disappointing. I really hope this doesn't become a narrative. I can't speak for everybody else. At bare minimum, I can say when I'm saying you're a ball and gun gamer, I'm just simply saying you're somebody with a limited palate. You are somebody who eats chicken tenders trying to comment on the taste of caviar. You are somebody who eats Arby's trying to comment on the taste of lobster. That's all I'm saying. That's what the ball and gun gamer does. Man, I ain't eating that shit, bro. My chicken nugget, my dinosaur chicken nuggets at, nigga. Shout out to Bloody with the super chat. Appreciate it. And then you try to put them on to stuff and they don't even want to hear it. That's another symptom of the ball and gun gamer. I forgot to bring that up, right? Not only do they only play ball and gun games and they love to be dismissive of other games, they love to also be in the group chat. And some of y'all can probably attest to this. You'll be in the group chat, you'll be in an Xbox Live party chat, Discord, whatever. And your homeboy be like, man, gaming dead. This shit boring. I need something different to play. Hey man, I got this cool game called Hades 2. That shit 2D, nigga? Nah, that shit corny, bro. That shit corny. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm not doing that. I can't wall run and get a bacon skin? Nah, I'm not doing that, bro. Expedition 33 got classical music in it. Nah, bro. I've heard white people say they make their 2K players black because they won't pass the ball to them. And you know what? That's real. I've heard that too, for those unaware. Apparently, a lot of white people make black characters because they can't get the ball in the rec when they make a white player. And I'm not gonna lie, I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. I'm not gonna lie. So I was like, you know what? That makes sense. I've heard that same exact thing. So I think maybe the perception of, at least with NBA 2K, is there's a lot more black than white people or other ethnic groups in the game because you primarily see black people. No. Yeah. I would say 90% of the players in the city in NBA 2K are black, but not all the players are actually black. There's white, Asian, Hispanic people cosplaying, digital blackface. A game cannot sell multi-millions every year with just the black community. I hate to break it to you, at least in the United States, we're only 10 to 13% of the population. It's just not possible. And then not every black person is a gamer on top of that. It's just not possible. And then you got funds and all this other stuff. So to run to the internet and be like, oh, this is a racist thing, I think it waters down the conversation and it makes it hard to have real conversations when some real shit is actually going on. And I'm here to let y'all know this is not one of those, bruh. Ball and gun gamer has become a slur, but it's not a racial slur. It's just a slur to let you know you're a fucking idiot. Well, unless you know some people don't like sports games, they got low testosterone type shit. If you see ball and gun and immediately think black people, that says more about you. Exactly. Exactly. And it's always the anime pictures, man. So that's me getting on my soapbox to be like, no, we got to nip this in the bud. No, that's not what this is, bro. Don't ruin the fun. Ball and gun gamer is not a racial slur. It's just an insult. A basic insult. Speaking of insulting, so at the end of the Game Awards, I think one thing that Jeff fucked up on, and he dropped the ball, if I could change the lineup of the Game Awards, when they announced that Star Wars game, I would have put that at the end. The Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic. I would have put this game towards the beginning, because he was like, I'm proud to announce a big announcement that nobody's seen before, made from the developers of Titanfall and and Apex Legends. And then we all was like, I don't know, bro. I just think he fucked up. And this is why I be saying, I'm trying to tell y'all, and this is anything in life, man. Believe it or not, like a quarter of just being successful in life is just being in the right place at the right time, bro. Getting your foot in the door and putting your foot down on the pedal at the right fucking time. And he just timed this wrong. I think what happened is he put this game at the end of the show and he creates super high expectations by saying, this is the final thing we're going to reveal. You've seen nothing like it. And da-da-da. He hyped it up too much and it should have been in the beginning. And last I checked, it had 8,000 dislikes on YouTube. And it's a new game called Highguard, made by some developers who left Apex Legends and Titanfall to form a new indie studio. But according to this article, a lot of people not fucking with it. Internet is not convinced it should care about another PvP hero shooter. Collective eye rolling plunges big Game Awards. Final reveal is the YouTube dislikes hole. The Game Awards ended on an odd note last night. Instead of a big exclamation point, one more thing, and prophesied the return of Gabe Newell striding onto the center stage with 3 fingers held high. Host Jeff Keighley closed the show with a reveal of a brand new game from an unknown studio, a PvP raid shooter called Highguard, which isn't to say Highguard wasn't hyped up to infinity before the trailer dropped. After a stage-spanning flight across stormy seas and rocky shores, Keighley did what he does and put the pedal to the metal with both feet. He said, sometimes our last reveal at the Game Awards is a teaser of something years and years away, but not tonight. Keighley pronounced with dramatic purpose. Our final world premiere comes from 61 members of the team that built Apex Legends and Titanfall. 4 years ago, the principals founded a new independent studio with the hopes of pushing the shooter genre forward with the new original game, and they've done it in complete secrecy, which is even more amazing because the game is very deep in development, so he hyped it up. Which, by the way, can I state, I missed this part when he said it. I didn't know this game was in development. It started 4 years ago. This is the problem with another low-key problem with live service games. A lot of live service games nowadays are being made for the algorithm. And what I specifically mean is they're taking a look at what's working right at that time, and then they start working on something. But the problem is by the time the game comes out, that trend is usually moved on. So like, let's say like you and your friends start an indie studio with 10 members in it, because that is an indie studio, despite what that one girl said. It's not made just by one person. Let's say you and your friends, fresh out of college, start your own indie studio, 10 people. You guys are eating ramen and tuna every day just to get by to make this game. And you say, I want to make an extraction shooter because Arc Raiders is hot right now. Now, because this is your first time making a game, you don't know what kind of hurdles you're going to run into in the development process. Could be coding issues, not finding the proper artists, unique game modes, not you can't make any interesting characters. There could be a lot of issues that you run into. Now 5 years have passed and nobody gives a fuck about Arc Raiders, which, by the way, I don't even think it'll take that long. It'll probably be a year, but y'all not ready for that conversation. And this is an example right here. They started 4 years ago. So that's why I think part of the it's not that he just hyped it up. This started 4 years ago, and by the time it came out, people are kind of rolling their eyes. Niggas is on fucking extraction shooters. You said a PvP hero shooter again? I don't know, man. Not to mention platforms changing. Shout out to Treason with the super chat. I'm not learning 22 more character metas. I'm sorry. Real shit. You get too old for that shit. The power of independent self-published studios is to push this medium forward is a growing and I think positive theme in our industry. And so tonight, you're not only going to get the announcement of the game, but also your first look. So if you didn't see the trailer, I'll play it now. If you want to see, by the way, I uploaded my full reaction with me and the boys playing on Hokage highlights. If you missed it, it's also on the streaming channel, but just in case, it is on the channel. My question is, how do you capture that lightning in a bottle in a constantly ever-changing game industry? That's a good question. I got the answer for you on that one too. So the way you capture the lightning in a bottle in the ever-changing gaming industry. And this has nothing to do with gaming, by the way. The way you capture the lightning in the bottle is you stop chasing trends and you make what the fuck you want. All the greatest products in any form of media was designed because that's what they wanted to make, whether we're talking music, books, movies. The problem is everybody's trying to make an MCU movie. Quit trying to capture the lightning and make the lightning. That's what makes Expedition 33 so good. It came out of nowhere. And they made what the fuck they wanted. Like, I love when, stop me riding the wave. I love when I put on a new album and the first thing I think to myself is, oh shit, this is what this person has to say. This is where they are in their mind frame. And this is what they want to offer. And they say, with this album, take it or leave it. A good example is Wale just put out an album. That album to me is very poetic. It's the theme of the album is basically the mind frame of somebody with the avoidant attachment love style. If you're familiar with that term, that's kind of the theme. And he's giving you the mind frame of what that is and what that's like and I listened to that shit for the first time and I said, oh, this is a grown man and this is where he's at. He's not chasing an algorithm. And I think that's the problem. A lot of games are chasing algorithms. And you just need to make whatever the fuck you want to make. You need to, that's why I always tell people, like, oh, you should work with this person. You need to do that. No, I'm making the videos that I want to watch. I would want to watch because this is what I'm interested in. I'm co-signing myself. I don't need a fucking cosign. So that's the issue. I felt that way about the Clips record. Exactly. I felt that's why that was one of my favorite albums too. The Clips made an album that you could tell they sat down with the producers and said, this is what we have to say. And this is how we're going to do it. And how are you going to help me? But it's too many people making things for the TikTok algorithm now saying, oh, this is what's hot right now. So how can we replicate it? And that's why you have a lot of rappers who sound the same right now. But I think hip hop's going to get in a better place in the coming years because, it fell out of the charts. So we're going to get more creativity. GNX was like that. He made what he wanted. He made a super West Coast album. That's what he wanted to make. You got to separate yourself. Yup. Oh, that's the video right there. What did I say? But yeah, let's check out this trailer for the game if you haven't seen Highguard. I feel that way about Larry. Larry June is in his own. He makes chill music. He's in his own lane. That's also why personally, I like people like literally yesterday, mad people were asking me in the chat, like, can you give me advice as like a content creator? And like my best advice to you is just enjoy the process. Make what the fuck you want to make and find a way to market it. It's too many people trying to make what everybody else is making. And it's like, why would anybody watch you when they can watch me and I'm already doing it better than you? Yo, shout out to Bloody with the $5, man. Solve a problem. But Wale still goes back and forth with people that don't like his music. Like, why do that when everyone was calling it his best album? But that has nothing to do with the conversation. I was just giving that as an example. I do think he's on Twitter too much, but like that's not going to stop me from liking the album. But that's nothing. That's completely different. I was just talking about make what you want to make, regardless of him arguing that he still made what the fuck he wanted to make.
Sometimes our last reveal at the Game Awards is a teaser for something years and years away.
Wow.
Not tonight. Our final world premiere comes from 61 members of the team that built Apex Legends and Titanfall. 4 years ago, the principals founded a new independent studio with the hopes of pushing the shooter genre forward with a new original game. They've done it in complete secrecy, which is even more amazing because the game is very deep into development. The power of independent...
Bro, get to it.
Lands uncharted and dangers untold.
You listen to Fabio Foreign TBH? You know it's funny, before we play this trailer, he's actually a great example of what I just described. You have to stop trying to recapture lightning in a bottle. And the reason why I say he's a great example is because literally this morning, he had a new music video drop and it went on my algorithm. So I clicked it. The title of the song is Big Drip Part 2. This nigga's trying to recapture fucking, what year did he come out? 2020 or whatever? And like in my head, I was like, bro, like, let it go. Yeah, you stuck in 29. Go make some new music, bro. I just laughed like this ain't gonna work. Big Drip Part 2. You think I'm playing? Look it up.
And ride without rest. For join.
This shit look like Realm Royale.
I fight to the end.
You got something new from me? Hold up.
That's what Legend.
I'm gonna get to that 1 second. What you mean? There's 2 parts to the drip. LOL, this did look lame. I don't think it looks lame, but like it didn't move me either. I'm like, I feel indifferent. And I always say when it comes to art, if art makes you feel indifferent, that's not good. You should either want to love it or like hate it. I didn't feel anything watching this shit. I just said at bare minimum, I'll try it because it's free to play. But if they, I'm not gonna lie, if they were saying this costs money, I wouldn't buy it. A new breed of shooter. I also think it didn't help that he was like, this is coming from former developers on Titanfall. In my head, I was thinking, and you using the stream, I was thinking, oh, they're going to make a spiritual successor. Since Respawn won't make Titanfall 3, they're going to make a spiritual successor. And then they showed this shit. I was like, bro, what the fuck? I couldn't have been the only one that was thinking that.
Your light belongs to me.
I'm seeing people call it Concord 2.
Moving in for the attack.
Appreciate it, Magruder.
Shield breaker forming.
It literally looks like Valorant meets Overwatch. And I just don't know how I feel about this. Maybe this is one of those games where like it feels good. It feels better than what it looks. I trust the gunplay to be good at bare minimum. I agree with that. If it's former Apex devs, yeah. Last don't know, but if this game can't even outperform Overwatch 2 live service, let alone Rivals, then I don't know. I think the telltale sign for this will be, so for those unaware, maybe we can get to the end of the trailer. The game is coming out in January. It's literally coming out next month. It comes out January 26, 2026, and it'll be free to play. Is this going to be crossplay? What platform? It's coming to Steam, PS5, and Xbox. I don't know if it's crossplay or not. I'm going to lean towards, I'm going to guess it probably will be because it's free to play. But it's going to be a free game that comes out next month. Next month, when it comes out, if they don't crack at least like 100,000 on launch week, this game is DOA. And like even that for like a free game, I don't think that's good. But like it's got to crack at least 100,000 concurrent players, like on Steam, because like if it only does that, then it's all downhill from there. Yeah, people have been saying High Overguard watch the name. It literally looks like a mishmash of every fucking thing, bro. You saying this is Concord 2.0? I'm not gonna go as far as to say that. I'm gonna keep an open mind because it's free to play. Like I said, it could be one of those games where like maybe it plays better than what it looks, but like first impressions, I feel indifferent. How it looks, it feels like Destiny and Paragon with a bit of Overwatch. Who knows? Who knows? What did you link, Ethos?
Players do. So Kobe Bryant broke his fucking hand, and he did that. That's what legendary players do. LeBron, legendary, 3-1 comeback, came back. Kevin Durant got his foot on the line, went into overtime. He didn't score, bro. He didn't put up no buckets. Stop calling that man legendary because he won with Steph Curry, the greatest shooter ever. Klay Thompson, a top 3 shooter ever. Stop calling.
Agendas will be pushed.
He got smoked out by Memphis. When they played the Spurs, he got smoked out. When they went up against Golden State, he blew a 3-1 lead. He choked. Legendary. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, even fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson as a rookie. Yes. 45 points,
Larry
17
Bird,
rebounds, triple-double. Larry Bird, legendary. These are
game of the month.
He's more legendary than Kevin Durant. That's what we talking about right now. Stop talking about KD like he's this guy. He's not that guy. He's a Slim Reaper. He's garbage when it matters. He's garbage.
Hashtag stop glazing dispatch. Oh, is this an agenda people are pushing? I was unaware of that. I was unaware of it. The gaming community is fucking funny. I was unaware of this agenda. That's fucking funny, edit, bro. Yo, shout out to Nokia with the $10 super chat. My friend was confused on how Expedition 33 won all those awards and said nobody knows about that game until how people outside of the gaming space heard of Arc Raiders and compared it to when Baldur's Gate 3 won. I hate that argument. And you know the worst part is with those type of people, you could tell them it sold 5 million copies and it was for free on the Game Pass, and they'll still be like, ain't nobody heard of that. Send the link. I got you. Ain't nobody heard of that. And that's why I said one of the biggest issues I've noticed with the gaming community is a lot of people just are not capable of thinking outside of themselves. They just instead of saying, so when I see something that people are glazing, my brain says, oh, I have a blind spot. But for some reason, a lot of gamers, when they have a blind spot, they say, ain't nobody heard of that shit. And I just feel like y'all be blocking y'all blessings when y'all be doing that shit, bro. Y'all be blocking y'all blessings. Be like, yeah, you ain't heard of it. Like, it's such a self-centered perspective. Like, bro, you're not that important. Like, like Belancho last year, real shit. Dude, I watched you 2 years ago, found your stream. Welcome. Like, you are not that important to pretend like you are the center of the universe when it comes to this game and shit. Other news, exclusive, a new Alien game is back in development. Insider Gaming has learned that a new game based on the Alien franchise is back in development. According to sources, this new Alien title is a single-player arcade survival horror game that sees players trying to survive being aboard a decaying space station. They'll have to evade a mix of xenomorphs and spec op units in what's described to Insider Games as being the shadows of the Tomb Raider with xenomorphs at its current stage. The game, which has been in the works since 2020 under a variety of names, and was even first reported by Insider Gaming back in November of 2022. What was once codenamed Marathon and others that Insider Gaming promised not to share to protect sources was believed to be dead for a few years. It had switched developers multiple times, but recent documents dated from the earlier this year show that the current studio working on Alien is Adios Montreal. I'm not gonna lie, take this with a grain of salt. It's in development, ho. It's been swapping studios left and right. It's the pass around of the community. So I would. When it comes to the gameplay, it's planned to have a mix of combat, platforming, and puzzles. Players will need to rely on stealth, resource management, and problem solving, with puzzles ranging from repairing machinery to cracking codes. And during combat, enemies won't just rush blindly. The AI is designed to adapt and react to whatever tactics you have. Yeah, I would say yellow flag. Documents also show at least 3 characters in the game. The main character, Aubrey, is an engineer who has the ability to use items like grappling hooks and magnetic boots, among others. Another new character is Rizuku, who uses the space station as his fortress and is likely an antagonist of some sort. Finally, there's Ripley 8. In the movies, she was famously played by Sigourney Weaver, and there's internal hope that she could reprise her role for the game. That said, only a first approach has been made as of now, with nothing set in stone. The budget for the game is less than $75 million. That's still a big budget. But y'all played Alien Isolation, it was fire. I never played it, but I mean, I covered the story because I know a lot of people did. What's the temperature on this? How we feeling about this? Y'all want another Alien game? Does this sound like it's something up your tree? You need a hug? Oh. Yeah, my guy. Less than, yeah, like that's a crazy stand. Keep in mind, Expedition 33 took 10 million. They said less than 75 million. Clearly more money doesn't mean better, right? I don't give you any money and you still love me. I just give you food, hugs, and kisses. And a ball. I need a Predator game. How would you want it to play? Action adventure? Or you wanted a Dead by Daylight type shit? I'll pass on it. Yeah, I'm good on this game. The only Alien I like is Captain America versus Alien. Read that book. It's really good. Read it. So yeah, that's Alien. Other news. Rockstar says they fired employees that were leaking game features. The Rockstar Games firing controversy has been one of the biggest gaming stories of 2025. New developments have slowly trickled out about the firing of the 34 Rockstar employees, but now the company itself has officially addressed the real reason that led to the action. For those who aren't following this story, a couple weeks ago, a story came out that 30 to 40 Rockstar employees were fired after a private Discord was discovered. And in that Discord, they were forming a union. They were getting together a petition to try to form a union so they can get better pay at Rockstar, their UK studios. But now Rockstar is saying, no, we weren't union busting. They're saying that they were leaking shit. On November 24th, Insider Gamer reported on leaked Discord messages revealing why Rockstar filed 34 employees. Now Rockstar Games has officially given its side of the story, and the reasons are very interesting. Rockstar Games gave IGN a statement where they said, Rockstar Games took actions against a small group of individuals across the UK and internationally who distributed and discussed confidential information, including specific game features from upcoming and unannounced titles in a public forum in a breach of company policy and their legal obligations. Claims that these dismissals were linked to union membership or activities are entirely false and misleading. They said, Cap, y'all wasn't in that Discord trying to form a union. Y'all was in that Discord sharing secrets. The official title and development at Rockstar Games right now is GTA 6. Well, now they're just yapping. So right now it's here. And then also, if you missed the article from a couple of days ago, the government is investigating them as well for the union busting shit as well. So this is their statement, I guess, to the UK government. Like, hey, no, they were selling company secrets. They weren't forming a union. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of leaning more towards the story of the developers than Rockstar. Now, if Rockstar comes out and they leak the Discord messages proving that they were leaking game information, then hey, I can't defend y'all. But I can only tell y'all from my industry insider info, I've been told from some very reputable sources that Rockstar is they're the mafia of the gaming community. They will fuck you up if they don't like what you're doing. But to be fair to both sides, it's still all hearsay. We need to see some evidence. I'll say at bare minimum, I don't trust Rockstar. I don't trust them. As for the ball and gun gamers, you know, I hope everything smooths out and there's not another delay, because I know you niggas will lose it. What specifically did they leak? I don't remember seeing anything. Exactly. And that's why I said, what's the evidence? What did they leak? I'm sure documents will come out if the government is investigating them and this finds some way to go to court. Documents are going to come out, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Ball and gun gamers are in shambles. They probably don't even know if this story is going on. They don't read.